county 50% of the bill because that's 75% their employees. So we're trying to figure out how to best display that.
Well, see it, so
Yeah.
it gets taken care of and we don't have to.
Yeah, and we're working to figure that out because it's kind of like this line item is 50-50 and this one's 100%. But that gets confusing when you're looking at the budget of, well, do I have to pay half of $100,000 or do I have to pay $100,000? So we're trying to figure out what best way to do that.
I'm in support of it. My company uses basically the same thing, and I really don't know how you've gone this long without this.
Yeah, again, like I said, this is something we have wanted to really look into, really wanted to focus on it last year, but obviously there were a lot of other projects, and bringing all city and county into our department, we started noticing this and realizing as we were replacing machines, and it's a lot more than just email. The office product is a big part of it as well. But
And in today's climate, I think it's a need rather than a want.
agreed.
I personally am very much in favor of this concern. As someone who works with that kind of information, not just personnel, but banking, it's something that is definitely needed.
So we need an ordinance or?
Nope, just need approval to agree to it, should the county agree to it.
Correct. I was going
and
to
then
throw
we'll-
that in here real quick.
Yeah, the county's gonna review this next week and hopefully approve it as well. Without the county, this price goes up substantially. We could still, because it's 250.
250 is the minimum.
And they're already buying 250, so we're kind of just tacking on to them by doing that together, which is a benefit of having this joint department. So no, just approval to agree to it when the bill comes, or when the contract comes. We're not signing the contract because the county does. Just agreement that it's a good thing. Motion to accept that as presented.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Kevin, second by Vieta. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thanks, Josh. Thanks for your work on that, and could you do us a favor and hurry up?
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The last item on the new business agenda, the Greensburg Community School System reached out and notified me a week and a half ago that the City Council has a school board appointment that is coming due in June. Shannon McClode has served her 2 4-year terms at the appointment of this board. They have asked that we try to have them a name by our next City Council meeting. The 4/5 of you can duke that out, or if you would like for me to assist in finding a name, or if you'd like to appoint 2 people to a committee.
I welcome you supporting our efforts. Does this have to be party specific?
Yes.
It does. She's a Republican appointee, so it needs to be a Republican. So how would you like to?
I have no trouble where.
It's all weird with everything.
Which is exactly what?
We can feed you names if we should have those, and if you have a recommendation, if you recommend us.
Favorable?
And we have to have this next meeting.
That's their intention. The appointment is complete in June, and so they would like to have the person on board mid to late May, so that they can get them through the process before June.
So would you be the point person if we have someone in mind, we just email you and?
I think that might be best in that we can try to keep it corralled then. If you want to ask someone, hey, would you be interested in this? And if so, here's the process. I don't have any problem with that, obviously. But just so we know who's being asked when, where, how, and why. And I can email you a name, and if somebody has any comments or concerns or whatever on that, we can hash that out then. And if we need to have a special meeting, I don't know the executive, because, well, person, I don't know. We can figure that out.
I think you could have an executive,
Okay.
but
I can do that, and if you think of somebody, please forward them my way. Okay. Anything else on that? As noted, Jamie was gone this evening, So a few things, we had the same update on the Board of Works from John Bryant with the Veritas Group as he presented here. Mark Carmen was here to ask for a small tweak on the Fall Festival Committee road closures to close just the section of Washington Street on near Broadway to put the stage in on Thursday night versus Friday morning at 6 p.m. They're going to close the road off to get that set up. That was approved. He also requested the closure of Sheridan Street between Indiana and Maple on September 9th from 5 to 10 p.m. for a neighborhood party. That was also granted. The Friends of Fred event will be back June 17th. Rose Cronley was here from Main Street, Greensburg, to ask for the northeast and south sides of the courthouse to be closed from 2:30 to 10. That day, the commissioners have already agreed for usage of the south and the lawn for that. We had a presentation from the Mayor's Youth Council, which is a county-wide organization made up of students from 6th grade and on in South, North, Greensburg, and St. Mary's. They are a hybrid with the Greensburg Prevention Group, which is a grant-funded group in the community that Sandra Gabbard runs that focuses on youth engagement and prevention. Their topic for the Board of Works was a request to support the improvements to the basketball courts at North Park. They did apply for and received funds through a competitive grant through the Indiana Community Housing Development Authority, and their match is a 1-to-1, so they need to raise $15,000 to receive $15,000, and they came to the Board of Works to ask for a donation of $5,000 towards that project. They are also seeking the other donations from other organizations and businesses and have been working at that. The group's taken a very active role in the bottle cap bench recycling project. If you've seen that, they're swimming in bottle caps. They've hosted trivia night at the branch and a few other different events throughout the year. Their membership is currently open for next year, so anybody in the county that's a 6th grader or older that would like to apply can. So their presentation was around the project and the grant and how the funds would be used for resurfacing goals, backboards, landscaping, benches, seating, etc. So the Board of Works did approve that. And then Zeke had 3 things: a Strand Task Order 71,000 for design, bidding, and construction of Vine Street south of 421 to replace a sewer line in there that has been giving a lot of problems. We then went on to approve the contract for $19,100 to do a stormwater improvement project with stormwater dollars on Trayland Drive to help with a cul-de-sac that has been reported to me multiple times in several years, and Zeke in the last few as well, to reroute that over to a 12-inch line, put in a new basin, 180 feet of pipe, if I recall correctly. So that is a stormwater project that is happening with stormwater dollars to affect a neighborhood. And then the second stormwater improvement project that was presented came with a quote that was higher than the $50,000 number, so we really need 3, and I mistakenly failed to provide Zeke with that guidance, so that was tabled until next month where we'll have 3. That will be an extension of the work done last year over on Stewart Street, on up to the east, and up the alley under Wilder. So that was another whole block replacement. We'll see what the bids come back in for that, but that would be a second stormwater project. Mark is also working on stormwater as part of our pavement replacement program this summer. CCMG round 1 monies will be available. They're available now. We're waiting on the contractor, so we're replacing the storm inlets that are collapsed before we put on the surface, so that all fits and flows together. Questions on those? Okay, those were kind of the big ones. We are going to have 2 conditional offers of employment sent out for the fire department. Those will be going out in the morning.
Bye.
You want me to do
I'm gonna
mates?
turn it over to you, 'cause I thought Rose was gonna be here tonight to give the annual report.
You know, yes, she needs to be on the agenda for that.
Next is
Actually, she already gave June. She's coming in June. Perfect. So we did have our annual meeting last month where we had a new board of directors, officers brought on. We have 2 new members. We have a new slate of executive officers. I have been afforded the privilege to serve as president for 1 more year on that. We've got Amber Coyne, who's also serving as our treasurer, and a couple others. The main things that we sort of talked about was just some items happening over the summer, but the big one being Main Street of America is currently visiting us, and they were here today, where we had a meeting this morning with the board to talk about sort of the long-term vision for Main Street, the whys and the whats that Main Street is doing. And then this afternoon there were different focus groups from county and elected officials and county-wide and elected officials, business and building owners, and then some other kind of different stakeholders. So they've kind of consolidated all those conversations from their full day in town. They did a tour of downtown. They were very impressed with the Main Street district and the cleanliness and the buildings and the businesses that are available. And then they will be back tomorrow for about a half a day to sort of go through what they learned and then help provide that kind of micro comprehensive plan for Main Street as an organization for the next 3 to 5 years. So it's good to have Main Street of America here as well. I think that was the bulk of it. Any questions on that? Kevin?
Let's see, start with the easy one, which is EDC. We've not had a meeting with EDC since our last council meeting. We have our next meeting scheduled Thursday morning. Greensburg Plan Commission, we had one thing on the agenda, which was a primary and secondary plat for AGM LLC, which is Rocking, where they removed an interior lot line and then added 2 lot lines. It was passed. That paves the way for them to sell the 1.3 acres that was sectioned out to Culvers.
And that has to go through the public awareness process, but then it will come to council for, or that's it, right?
That's it.
Approved, done, great. I knew there was some confusion about that, so I'll just perpetuate the confusion.
Well, I was confused with the meeting, so.
Okay, Vienna Solid Waste.
I forgot my notes, but I got to listen to Josh enlighten us on how bad the transition from Rumpke to, or from Bestway to Rumpke was, and pass that information on to Mandy, and hopefully it's gonna be better.
I think it has gotten
It's gotten better, yeah, it's
Uh,
gotten better. There were just some things that were unclear, even for me. I thought that we were doing the same thing, you know, every week or every other week, our recycling was being picked up. I didn't realize that Rumpke was in town every day picking up, and it was a schedule that way. So there was just some confusion, and the transition has not been perfect, but we're getting there. And she assures us that she will get with Rumpke and they will do whatever needs to be done. So they're having a rain barrel workshop, but it's already full. So if you didn't get in, don't get a rain barrel.
There you go. Get you next time.
Yeah.
That sounds like that was.
And the website for all the dates should be up too. She was supposed to have that done.
She's also moved around the front of the building instead of on the
Yeah,
side.
she's in the very front now, because you guys moved back there?
She's at door 2 now.
Yeah. Number 2. Let's see, what was the other thing that, we're talking about I thought was interesting. It was the Talks Away Day when we have so many tires, like truckloads, semi-truckloads of tires that show up, and they're talking about maybe trying to do just a tire event at one of the electronic and shred events, and try to minimize that to all happen at one time. So that's something that she's also working on. Was there anything else?
Nope, I think that was it. Harold?
I'll try not to follow the trend of my colleagues and not confuse you as much. It was a joke, folks. Okay, moving right along. The redevelopment commission meeting was last Thursday night, And the property marketing program, which is, we're using someone out of Indianapolis to market properties that are ready for development. It is ongoing. It has not been advertised as of yet. We were told that they are still compiling demographic details. We talked about the residential development project, the status on that. The rezoning is done. Beacon Homes is tweaking the plats. The stormwater plan is complete, or will be complete this week. Phase 1 of that project will be 24 lots, and they are leaning toward not doing a lift station until the second phase. The city attorney is working on various legal issues, and I didn't put all those down, but we believe he'll do a good job on that. We also talked about the plan list, the redevelopment commission plan list. That list has been extended, added to, and basically what it is projects that we're looking at in and around the TIF district, and we will be finalizing that either this coming month or the next month. There'll be a public hearing, and then it will come to the council, excuse me, with a recommendation from the commission. And the multi-use path, we talked just briefly about that, excuse me, over the State Road 3, and we have asked Structure Point for an estimate to do a study on that, and we've invited them to come to the May meeting to give us the details on that. And that's all I have.
I have a question. Why would they wait till phase 2 for the lift station?
I'll defer to our sanitation, or our sewer plant.
I'll take it.
Okay.
They have looked at the first phase and believe they can service 22 homes in phase 1 with gravity sewers without the need for the lift station. That would permit them to defer that cost into phase 2 when they have revenue stream coming in from selling phase 1, plus redevelopment commission contributions.
So the lift station would be built prior to phase 2 starting?
It would be built so it's available when homes are complete in phase 2. It would be built to service phases 2 and 3.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? I'm going to skip all the way down to 911. We did have our quarterly meeting. Leanne Deschelle was appointed to Assistant Director. And Josh may have to help me. Our IDAX, which stands for IDAX Audit.
Yes, Indiana Data and Communication System. Thanks.
Yeah, the Indiana Data
Haven't used
and
that
Communication
forever.
System Audit came back with no violations and no negative marks. So kudos to that team. And a lot of work is happening with getting the console updated and completed. That is done. That was a 50-50 project that the city was involved in as well. That was the Motorola agreement from a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So that is done and out of the way. And then Jeff Steele, our GIS coordinator, continues to work with them on addressing and getting the county systems in line with what the 911 is. I think that was about it. We have not had an insurance committee meeting since our last meeting because the way this fell. So we will have that this Thursday. Anything else? If not, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Etta. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.